We were not together.
Jada Pinkett Smith just revealed something absolutely insane. She and Will have been split since 2016.
Where we didn't tell the public, right?
So everything, every interview, every episode of Red Table Talk,
We got into that new place of unconditional love.
even the Oscar slap.
Oh, wow!
Was all lies. And you'll never believe everything she's coming clean about when it comes to Will.
In 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce.
I mean, where do you even start with these two? It's been years of listening to them talk about fighting for their marriage and talking about how they've worked through their problems and even admitting to having affairs and claiming to have had separations and reconciled, only for Jada to reveal once and for all that they haven't considered themselves married in 7 years. Everything was a lie. Jada didn't have an affair with August Alsina because she and Will weren't even together. When Will stood up at the Oscars and slapped Chris Rock and told him to keep his wife's name out of his mouth, he didn't even actually consider Jada his wife. Unless Jada isn't to be believed, which isn't exactly out of the question. Does anyone believe Jada anymore? Considering she made dozens of episodes about how she's worked through her marital issues with Will, only to reveal that it was supposedly all a lie. What's actually going on here? Is she just trying to distance herself from Will now that people don't like that he slapped Chris Rock? Or have they actually been split for 7 years? Here's what we know. Jada is releasing a memoir called Worthy. And in the book, she gets into everything. She talks about Tupac, the Oscar slap, her entanglement with August Alsina, but arguably the biggest shock of the entire book is that she revealed that she and Will decided to start living completely separate lives in 2016. And they've kept that up for the last 7 years. They just chose not to legally file for divorce. She had some pretty bizarre things to say in an interview with Hoda Kotb. Hoda said to her, it was not a divorce on paper, but it was a divorce. And Jada actually agreed with her. And she said that she has no plans to file for divorce. She said, I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever, and I just haven't been able to break that promise. It's a huge statement to make, considering that so much of her career over the last 7 years has been centered around her relationship with Will. She claimed that they never made a statement because they weren't ready yet, telling Hoda. Still trying to figure out between the two of us how to be in a partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out. So what's the real story here? Do they just not want to split up their money? Is it all a publicity stunt? And even though this was the biggest reveal from the interview, she actually revealed something else that's equally as crazy. And it gives a whole lot of background about why Will actually slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. Because as it turns out, Chris allegedly called Jada and asked her out. According to Jada, one summer, there were rumors going around in the press that she and Will were getting divorced. This is where it gets pretty hypocritical, at least in my opinion. Because she said that every summer, these rumors would start going around. I feel like someone needs to remind her that she just confirmed that these rumors were true the entire time. But anyway, apparently one summer, Chris Rock believed them to be true. And he called Jada up and asked to take her out. When Jada asked him what he meant by that, he said that he heard that she and Will were getting divorced. And Jada said, no, Chris, these are just rumors. Jada said that Chris was appalled and he profusely apologized. I mean, it's almost kind of funny what actually is the situation here. First, she says that they've been living separate lives for years, but then when Chris Rock calls and asks her out because he heard that she and Will split, she claims that they were just rumors and not true at all. It's like she can't keep her own lies straight. But one thing's for sure, everything with the Oscar slap makes so much more sense now. Will wasn't just mad about what Chris said on stage. No, this went way deeper than that. This sounds like a years-long grudge that Will has been holding against Chris. All because he asked Will's wife out. And it probably all came back to him when Chris Rock started talking about Jada on stage at the Oscars. Now that Jada has supposedly revealed the truth about her and Will's marital status, you almost have to wonder, how could they be such liars? The layers to their lies are truly unbelievable. They did things that they didn't even have to do to try to convince people that they were one of the strongest married couples in Hollywood, when they really could have just stayed silent. First of all, they appeared at events and on red carpets together all the time. Was that really necessary? But then you also have Red Table Talk. There were episodes upon episodes that featured Will, where they sat down and talked about how they had gone through difficult times in their marriage, but now they were stronger and doing better than ever, and trying to teach other couples to be as strong as them, and how to come out on the other end of their problems. Meanwhile, they were secretly living completely separate lives and saying that they were divorced without legally getting divorced, just so that no one will find out about their lies and deception. Listen, I know that everyone was pretty much officially sick of Jada and Will after the Oscars slap, but I truly think this is one of the worst things a celebrity couple has ever done. Obviously, they don't owe anyone an explanation about their private lives. But that being said, they didn't need to be profiting off of their amazing marriage for the last 7 years either. I just don't know if anyone will ever be able to trust Will or Jada again after this. They could have kept quiet and laid low, but instead they spent years bragging about how they worked through their problems, when in reality they were living separate lives. It is truly one of the strangest celebrity stories out there, especially when you take into account the fact that Jada did an entire episode of Red Table Talk owning up to her affair with August Alsina, but saying that ultimately she and Will decided to work on their marriage. Is it really an affair if you weren't considering yourself married in the first place? And worse yet, why did you make an entire episode about how this affair caused you and Will to work on your marriage, only to admit that you were separated both before and after the affair? I don't know if we'll ever see a celebrity marriage this weird ever again, especially because it doesn't sound like they ever plan to get legally divorced. They're just going to keep going on like they always have. But do you think that they'll still pretend to be married like she didn't make this announcement? Or do you think that now they'll finally act separated like they actually are once and for all? And can you believe just how bizarre this entire story is? I'm sure it's only going to get weirder when the book comes out, and we get way more information about just how unusual their quote-unquote marriage is these days. But what do you guys think about this? Were you shocked by the announcement? Or does nothing with these two truly shock you anymore? I think I would have been less shocked if they hadn't just spent years talking about how strong their marriage was. But what do you think?
Since marrying in 1997, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have created a family of high-profile, high achievers with a hefty net worth to boot. Will and Jada Smith have aided in the launch of their remarkable children, Jada and Will Smith, and have frequently coordinated artistic collaborations inside the family. But things have changed between these two, and Jada is now pregnant by someone other than Will Smith. Stay, because we're about to spill the beans. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have raised a family of high-profile achievers since their 1997 marriage. Will and Jada Smith were instrumental in the birth of their extraordinary children, Jaden and Willow Smith, into the industry, and they routinely coordinated artistic collaborations within the family. Jada's award-winning talk program, Red Table Talk, which features Jada, Willow, and Jada's mother, Adrienne Banfield Norris, is one such collaboration. Red Table Talk hosts celebrity visitors on a regular basis to lay everything on the table. Some of the most prominent celebrity rumors have come from the show, including Jordyn Woods' denial of her relationship with Tristan Thompson in 2019. The hottest Red Table Talk content in 2021 came from Jada and Will, who disclosed intimate facts about their relationship over the course of multiple shows. Jada Pinkett Smith revealed how the couple met on a special episode of Red Table Talk. Jada's husband, Will Smith, her mother, Adrienne Banfield Norris, and the couple's daughter, Willow Smith, appeared in the episode, suitably titled Becoming Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Let's talk about day one. Jada said to her husband to begin the special program. Jada said that she auditioned for the role of Will's on-screen girlfriend on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The then 19-year-old was too short for the role, but she caught Will's eye and he fell in love with her right away. Instead, the job went to actress Nia Long, who was only 2 inches taller than Will's future wife at the time of casting, via People. The joke that I have with Jada is that I got the job, but she got the husband, Long told People. Will Smith was in a troubled marriage at the time with his first wife, Sherry Zampino, by 1996. Jada Pinkett Smith was having relationship problems with her then boyfriend, Grant Hill, at the time too. Jada and Will were the only guests at a dinner party who were not accompanied by their significant other. Will and Jada spent the remainder of the evening talking and discussing their relationship issues. When the rest of the dinner party was ready to leave, Will and Jada elected to stay and continue their chat. Will assisted Jada in gaining some crucial insights regarding perspective as the two continued to examine their relationships. At that moment, I looked at him and thought, this guy has everything I need, Jada told Rolling Stone. After the night was over, the two split ways and didn't see each other again for another 6 months. When you know there's a connection, you think, this is not something I want to fool around with, Jada explained. Jada Pinkett Smith stated on her talk show Red Table Talk that having a strong family was incredibly important to her and Will Smith. "That was our #1 priority," she stated again. Will Smith dedicated himself to making grand romantic gestures for Jada in order to create the ideal public portrayal of their marriage. In Malibu, California, he built a vast and wildly extravagant home for his family. Behind the scenes, however, the couple's relationship was fraught with conflict. Will recounted Jada, quote, "woke up and cried for 45 days straight on Red Table Talk." Despite the family's recent victories, strife was brewing with the release of The Karate Kid, a film starring Jaden Smith and Willow Smith's smash track, Whip My Hair. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith had to redefine their relationship after Jada discovered she couldn't sustain Will's ideal family. The couple's feud erupted during Jada's 40th birthday celebration. Will went all out for her 40th birthday, beginning preparing the day after her 37th birthday, he stated. Will had enlisted the help of a documentary crew, persuaded Mary J. Blige to sing, and unveiled some found videos made by Jada's grandmother during the last 8 months of her life. Jada's relationship with her husband was called into question as a result of the excessive attention around her birthday. Will described the party as the most ridiculous display of his ego, prompting Jada to embark on a voyage of self-discovery. Jada's an actress, but she had 2 babies, and she had to be home to raise her babies while I got to do everything I wanted to do, Will revealed. "I forgot who Jada was," Jada admitted to The Guardian in an interview. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith were determined not to divorce despite their relationship reaching an all-time low in 2011. Will stated that he would never get divorced again following his first divorce from Sherry Zampino. To save their relationship, the two broke up for a while, with Jada spending time alone in New York. Will revealed on the Talk program how, in the interim between their separation and reunion, he read 50 books on marriage, relationships, and behavioral psychology. "I was not going to fail in this marriage," Will said. He also revealed that he took 2 years off from work to emphasize becoming a better husband for Jada. Rumors of extramarital affairs have floated in the media since the couple initially separated in 2011. Will and Jada Pinkett Smith have a history of being evasive about such reports and doing nothing to contradict them openly. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Jada told Howard Stern in 2015, "He's got all the freedom in the world, and as long as Will can look himself in the mirror and be okay, I'm good." Jada was introduced to musician August Alsina at a concert in 2015. From there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August. Jada spilled on a Red Table Talk episode with Will. "It was a relationship, absolutely," she clarified later. August went public with his version of the tale in order to reassure the press that he had strong feelings for Jada when they were involved. "There was a lot of love there. Sometimes truth is complicated and difficult," August said in an interview with People. Will told GQ that while the couple does not consider themselves to be in an open relationship, quote, "the freedoms that we've given one another and the unconditional support, to me, is the highest definition of love." Though the interview did not go into great detail on the couple's feelings about monogamy, the author stated that the former Fresh Prince delicately explained to me that Jada wasn't the only one who had extramarital experiences. But could it be that this is what has led to Jada's new pregnancy? Jada Pinkett Smith is the mother of 2 popular musicians, Jaden and Willow Smith, both of whom are accomplished musicians. Through 2021, she remained in the spotlight because she disagreed with her actor husband, Will Smith. While the two were hesitant to admit their true feelings about their apparent rough relationship, it is now being speculated that Jada may be pregnant and expecting a child in 2022. The news quickly shocked social media users, who wondered if Will Smith's wife was truly pregnant. Will Smith recently spoke candidly about his marriage with Jada after speculation that the latter was experiencing a love entanglement with another man. On Jada's Red Table Talk show in July 2020, the pair publicly addressed Jada's extramarital affair with musician August Alsina. According to MTO News, a person working in production for Jada's upcoming season of Red Table Talk revealed that the show's producers are supposedly busy working on the issue of Jada Pinkett and pregnancy. The insider revealed, "I don't know if Jada is pregnant, but she's going to do a whole show on older women getting pregnant." The insider further stated, "Jada won't reveal her pregnancy until next season of the Red Table Talk." Jada has previously spoken about expanding her family, but based on her latest Instagram photos, it does not appear like she's expecting a child right now. Her most recent post came on Wednesday, February 9th, and she looked lovely in a yellow and gray ensemble. Jada has also been silent on the rumor, but maybe some inside sources and people that work with her have heard something about that she was pregnant and that it was all an accident. Could it be? Some Twitter users expressed their disbelief over Jada Pinkett Smith's pregnancy speculations.
Perhaps the best way to describe last year is with Will Smith's meme crying during his Red Table Talk with wife Jada. But what exactly happened between Will and Jada to lead them to this hilarious meme? Will Smith finally revealed all of the juicy details about the whole entanglement scandal, so stay tuned to find out all about it. Will Smith and his whole family were recently honored with the Robin Williams Legacy of Laughter Award, which is granted to individuals for their contributions to the world. Williams' 3 children, Zelda, Cody, and Zach, decided that the Smith family was the best fit to receive the award this year because they had held groundbreaking discussions on topics like family, career, and mental health in a world that seemed to expect silence from its most visible citizens. Williams' children also highlighted the Smiths' charitable acts like feeding the homeless, helping inner-city youth programs, fighting AIDS in South Africa, and bringing safe water to those who need it the most. Will Smith later shared a video on his YouTube channel where he appears with his wife Jada and children Trey and Willow accepting the award. The video was titled "I'm Crying Again," and both Will and Jada took the opportunity to joke about the Red Table Talk moment, and while Will blamed his sad face on tiredness and dehydration, Jada confirmed Will wasn't actually crying in the image like the meme showed.
No, people think I'm crying all the time.
All the time, and he's not.
I'm not crying.
Such a shame.
It's
Such a shame.
It is. No, but it plays, it works out.
He doesn't cry. He wasn't crying.
No, it was midnight. We were shooting at midnight because we were trying to rush to go to the airport in the morning.
I should have stuck to my first gut, which is reshoot the whole thing.
That's what I said. I said reshoot it, but it played out. Everybody's like, poor Will.
Oh, God. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I was like...
For the couple, it seems both of them are over the Red Table Talk interview and are clearly laughing about it now, but fans aren't convinced about the whole thing. One user wrote, "Man was hurt to his core," with another writing, "Of course he wasn't crying, but there was pain in his face." Another one said, "But if he was, I would truly understand. That was mad disrespectful and hurtful," referring to what Jada did. But what exactly did she do to make Will look like that? And what happened after? Well, everything started back in June 2020, when singer August Alsina dropped a massive bombshell during an interview with the Breakfast Club radio host Angela Yee, claiming he dated Jada with Will's blessing. August said that he didn't feel responsible for the drama at all, even after dating Jada for years, because Will and Jada had told him they were in an open marriage. The singer gave more details and told how he sat down and chatted with Will after he found out they preferred to think of their marriage as a life partnership. According to August, Will gave him his blessing to date his wife. August also claimed he completely gave himself to the relationship with Jada for years, saying he deeply loved her. He also went as far as to say that leaving Jada almost killed him. The rumors about August and Jada started spreading back in July 2015, when the two of them were photographed getting cozy at Jada and Will's children's Wireless Festival show in London. In fact, rumors started appearing back then that Jada and Will were getting a divorce, and Radar Online published an article where they claimed the couple had been seen together for months. Later in July 2018, August was featured as a guest on an episode of Jada's talk show Red Table Talk and revealed that Jada had helped him overcome his painkiller addiction.
What was the moment that you decided you needed to get clean?
I don't know, I was on tour or something, but you called me and like literally broke down about it.
And I was just like, oh, something's gotta give. You have like, we can't love you more than you love yourself. I can't.
And see, that was the thing, right? So to feel your emotion and hear you bawling, I was like, that was really a reality check for me, because I was like, wow, if someone else can love you that much, that it hurts them, why doesn't it bother you that you're actually hurting yourself?
Fans had already started suspecting that something was up between the two of them, and after August dropped his remix of Kalani's song Nanya in the spring of 2019, they started calling out the singer on social media for being messy. The music video for the song showed August and emoji singing the lyrics while he's texting someone named Corin, which is Jada's middle name. In the video, August also sends a gif of Jada while singing, "You're just an actress putting on a show because you don't want the world to know that you lost a man who loved you all along." In a since deleted Instagram post, August denied that the track was about Jada by writing, It's just a song and a free artistic expression of a made-up narrative already put in place by its original format. But everything went ballistic after August's interview with Angela Yee, where he revealed that not only had he dated Jada for years, but that it all happened with Will's blessing. However, Will and Jada completely denied these allegations, and Jada's spokesperson told Page 6 that those allegations were completely false. Social media kept bringing up the topic of the open marriage, so Jada was finally forced to address the rumors directly, which is exactly what happened during an episode of Red Table Talk with her husband Will, and confirmed she had dated August during a period where she was temporarily split from Will.
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah, we decided that we were going to separate for a period of time.
She also called her relationship an entanglement, and denied that Will had given them his permission.
From there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
And I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
Jada said everything started as a friendship and that she just wanted to help August with his mental health and addiction issues.
Started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends. And it all started with him just needing some help. Me wanting to help his health, his mental state.
However, a little while after the Red Table Talk episode went live, August didn't seem too happy about getting dragged into the drama and wrote on Twitter, "Imagine not knowing how to mind the business that pay you. I catch all the subliminals and you can call me whatever you like. Mess is constantly inserting yourself in topics you have none to do with. Go play with your mammy, not me." And Will's fans weren't happy about Jada either, with one fan writing, "Jada was being petty by saying entanglement, lol." Even Will Smith was like, "Nah, it was a relationship." Even famous star and Breakfast Club co-host Charlamagne the God also took Will's side by criticizing Jada and calling her toxic, selfish, and taking advantage of August while he was at his most vulnerable.
The young man came to her broken, in need of healing, and her response is, "I wanted to feel good. I hadn't felt good in a long time, so you slept with him." Never mind how that young man is feeling. You just got to get yours. That is the epitome of toxic behavior. That is a woman leading with the toxic masculine and not the divine feminine. That's not how you or August get to a place of healing. And Jada be up there at that red table giving advice to people when the reality is she clearly hasn't done the work on herself that she needs to.
Charlamagne also called them out for sending a bad message about marriage to their fans. Later in July 2020, August went on Lil Wayne's Young Money radio and said, "I will always have love for her as a person. The experience really did help to transform me and really bring out the king in me." But he also doubled down on his initial statement and said, "As two men, we had a conversation and that's what it was. Everything that I've spoken on in my initial interview is and was and still is my exact truth." But even though he just said that his relationship with Jada meant a lot to him, he still decided to take some shots at her in his song called Entanglement, which includes the lyrics about owning the keys to Jada and Will's house. But this time fans weren't buying it and accused him of being petty, and pointed out how he even released the music video on Jada's birthday. A Twitter user wrote, "Bruh, Will Smith didn't deserve this kind of disrespect. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame entertainer." However, others supported the idea of the open marriage and wrote, "They have an open marriage. Will did it too, so fair game." With another one responding, "They do what works for them."
Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television.
The Oscar Awards are always characterized by the surprise factor within it. The nominees, the movies, the red carpet. But this time, there were more than just pretty dresses and winners. It seems that things got heated, and it was the actor Will Smith who starred in this scene. It was definitely something the guests and spectators never imagined would happen. As host and actor Chris Rock said, "That was the greatest night in the history of television." Here we tell you the details and what it was that Will Smith felt so furious about as to slap Chris Rock across the face. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock after the comedian made a joke about his wife will go down in history as one of the most shocking moments of the 94th Academy Awards. That wasn't on anyone's Oscars bingo card, I'm sure. Will Smith rushed on stage and punched Chris Rock in the face in an apparently unscripted action that surprised viewers and audience members alike, after the comedian made a joke about the actor's wife while presenting the Best Documentary prize at the Oscars. We were all perplexed by the slap that was broadcast around the world. So what exactly happened? What caused our televisions to go haywire? Is it true that Will Smith just smacked Chris Rock across the face? On stage to present the Best Documentary Award, Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife, actress Jada Pinkett Smith, who looked like she belonged in G.I. Jane 2. It appeared to be a dig at her short hair, but Pinkett Smith has revealed that she suffers from alopecia, a hair loss disorder.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay.
Smith rose from his seat and walked up to Rock on stage, slapping him. Smith then returned to his seat and requested, with expletives, that Rock refrain from discussing his wife.
Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. Wow, dude. Yeah. It was a G.I. Jane joke. Keep my wife's fucking mouth. I'm going to, okay?
The transmission in the United States froze and went silent. Smith's tearful acceptance speech for Best Actor, as well as Rock's reaction, in which he noted with an expletive that Smith had just struck him, made it plain that the confrontation was no stunt. When it came to performers and their spouses, Rock, the show's host, had been cracking jokes during a mini monologue. The camera switched to Smith, who appeared to be smiling at the time. The joke, however, was met with lukewarm applause, prompting Rock to add, "That was a nice one." Jada Pinkett Smith rolled her eyes at the joke right away. Pinkett Smith has been candid about her alopecia, explaining how her hair loss has proceeded in an Instagram video last year. She originally revealed her illness on an episode of her talk show in 2018, when she stated that she'd opted to cut her hair short after a chunk of it fell out in the shower. Jada Pinkett Smith was diagnosed with alopecia in 2018, and she's been embracing the challenges of the condition and publicly presenting symptoms of hair loss with confidence and transparency since then. She posted a video on Instagram last month to discuss a fresh patch of baldness caused by alopecia, a disorder that causes severe hair loss.
Now at this point I can only laugh. And y'all know I've been struggling with alopecia and just all of a sudden one day, look at this line right here. Look at that. Look at that. And so it just showed up like that. Now this is gonna be a little bit more difficult for me to hide.
A cheerful Pinkett Smith acknowledges the discovery in the video, which has nearly 2 million views.
So I thought I'd just share it so y'all not asking any questions, but you know Mama's gonna put some rhinestones in there. Now I'm just gonna make me a little crown. That's what Mama's gonna do.
After the incident, spectators and guests did not know what to do or say. The entire situation overshadowed the awards and threw a gloom over the event. When one of the hosts, Amy Schumer, got the microphone again later in the evening, she stated, "There's like a different vibe in here." She was joking, of course. People were giggling. However, none of it was amusing. Smith received his first Academy Award for Best Actor for playing the father of tennis legends Venus and Serena Williams in King Richard, just minutes after slapping Rock. Smith's tearful, emotional acceptance speech featured apologies to the Academy and his fellow candidates, but none to Chris Rock. In his lecture, Smith said, "Art imitates life," and added, "I look like the crazy father, just like they said about Richard Williams, but love will make you do crazy things."
I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. This is a beautiful moment.
After actor Will Smith punched comedian Chris Rock, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences issued a statement saying that violence was not accepted. The Academy does not condone violence of any form. Tonight we are delighted to celebrate our 94th Academy Award winners, who deserve this moment of recognition from their peers and movie lovers around the world.
Now, I know to do what we do, you got to be able to take abuse. You got to be able to have people talk crazy about you. In this business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you.
After Will Smith appeared to smack him during the live broadcast of the annual Academy Awards ceremony, police claim comedian Chris Rock declined to file a case. That means the Los Angeles Police Department, which has primary jurisdiction over the area where the show was taped on Sunday, will not investigate or prosecute Smith. LAPD investigative entities are aware of an incident between two individuals during the Academy Awards program, the department said in a statement. The incident involved one individual slapping another. The LAPD continued. The individual involved has declined to file a police report. If the involved party desires a police report at a later date, LAPD will be available to complete an investigative report. After all the controversy, blows, drama, and tears, the actors and guests began to comment on what happened, as they were all more shocked than they let on, and clearly that was justified, like Tiffany Haddish.
And what do you think of, when Will came on stage and he kind of offered a mea culpa to the Academy?
Sometimes discipline needs to be administered.
They can make
repercussions for your actions,
You think they can make up?
I think it'll be fine.
Or like John Leguizamo.
The unfortunate incident, let's discuss it. What was your reaction?
It was like, at first you thought, oh my God, it's a skit. Oh my God, wait a minute, there's no punchline. Wait, whoa, it's a punch, not a punchline. And you're like, oh, that's really unfortunate.
Even Will's son wrote on Twitter, and that's how we do it. Some other celebrities did the same, such as 50 Cent. Bitch, don't you ever play with me, LOL, and Nicki Minaj. I love Chris Rock. I don't think he would have made that joke had he known what Jada recently shared. But between him and the whole team at the Oscars, you mean to tell me not one of y'all heard this woman just share this heartbreaking story? Hashtag, come on, son. Here's the thing, and this is such an amazing, eye-opening example of it. The husband gets a front row seat to his wife's pain. He's the one consoling her, drying her tears behind closed doors when those cameras go off. Social media has made people feel that these husbands won't ever run into them in real life. You just gotta witness in real time what happens in a man's soul when he looks over to the woman he loves and sees her holding back tears from a little joke at her expense. This is what any and every real man feels in that instant. While y'all seeing the joke, he's seeing her pain. Chris undoubtedly crossed the line when he made the joke referring to Jada, but guests, viewers, and fans of the Smith family and Chris Rock have very divided opinions. Many agreed with what Will did, because he was defending his family and protecting his wife from the world. But on the other hand, some people think that violence was not the way to solve this, and also wasn't the way to let Chris know that his joke was offensive.
I'm writing my book, and it's like exposing my life and so many things that people don't know about me. That was the only time in my life that I ever considered suicide.
Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have been married for longer than most Hollywood couples. Despite having to cope with multiple rumors during their decades together, the couple seem to have figured out the ideal formula for maintaining the spark. Or maybe that's what they wanted us to think all these years, because truths have come out recently that have been disconcerting for fans. In the end, they have made us see reality. They are not the perfect couple, and on the contrary, all the problems and rumors that they had these years have seriously affected Will Smith. How? Here we explain everything. Now Will Smith is going to be hit hard by his marriage, and how do we know this? Will opened up about his marriage and his life before marriage in his new memoir. He stated that he and Jada, 50, had their ups and downs, and he recalled some of his previous relationships as well. Stockard Channing and Melanie Parker are two of the old romances mentioned in the Aladdin star's book. He also discussed his wife, Jada, and her relationships, particularly with close friend Tupac Shakur. Will revealed in his memoir that he was envious of Jada's past relationship with a California rapper. Before he went to prison in 1995, Tupac and Jada met in the mid-1980s and formed a close connection. They had a falling out, and before they could make peace, he was killed in a drive-by shooting in 1996. Though they were never intimate, their love for each other is legendary. They defined ride or die. Will writes in the book about their ride or die friendship. Their relationship tortured his head, he went on to explain. In the beginning of our relationship, my mind was tortured by their connection. He was Pac, and I was me. I have triggered the perception of myself as a coward. I hated that I wasn't what he was in the world, and I suffered a raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like that, he explained. Clearly, these kinds of things are what mark a person for life, and this was just the beginning. Will also made a few other statements when he had an interview with Oprah, all related to his memoir. During their private talk, she told him, "I realized you basically lost everything. The government seized your cars, it took your home, you ended up in jail. You describe it in 2 words, actually, rock bottom. What was at the root of that downfall, Will?" In addition to prior relationships, the iRobot actor went into great detail about his marriage, its hardships, and the lengths he went in order to keep it. Will Smith has a show where he demonstrates how he loses weight. This began as a journey to get into the best shape of my life, Will says in a voiceover. When I started this show, I thought I was getting into the best shape of my life physically, but mentally I was somewhere else. I ended up discovering a whole lot of hidden things about myself. The book was mentioned multiple times throughout the video. The actor and musician assembled his family for a reading of a section of the book, which included Willow, Jaden, and Trey Smith too. Will tells his friends and family, "That was the only time in my life that I ever considered suicide."
Thought I was getting into the best shape of my life physically, but mentally I was somewhere else. I'm done. And I ended up discovering a whole lot of hidden things about myself.
Willow is visibly moved in the video, while her brothers and the others at the table remain silent. What exactly is he referring to? Could it be that Jada was the one who caused this? The Smiths have won several awards, raised 3 children, and even leaped out of an aircraft together as one of Hollywood's most renowned power couples. Smith and his wife married in 1997 and have been happily married ever since. Will and Jada Pinkett Smith have finally addressed the long-running allegations about their relationship. Pinkett Smith returned to hosting duties for the 2-part Season 2 debut of Red Table Talk on Facebook Watch, and she put her 41-year-old spouse in the hot seat this time. Despite being in the public eye, the two have never shied away from sharing the ups and downs of their relationship. Their 23-year marriage is a testament to how they've weathered every storm, even separation. Will also discussed his romance in a recent interview with GQ. He expanded on something Jada has talked about on her show Red Table Talk. Quote, "She doesn't always agree with the conventional marriage standards. Jada has never believed in conventional marriage. Jada had family members that had an unconventional relationship," he told a publication. "So she grew up in a way that was very different than how I grew up. There were significant, endless discussions about it. What is relational perfection? What is the perfect way to interact as a couple? And for the large part of our relationship, monogamy was what we chose, not thinking of monogamy as the only relational perfection." His remarks came more than a year after the couple's appearance on Red Table Talk in July 2020, which was one of the show's most watched episodes. Jada brought herself to the table, as she put it on her Facebook Watch show, to confront the allegations that she had an affair with R&B musician August Alsina 5 years ago. Quote, "A viewer could have walked away thinking that Jada was the only one engaging in other sexual relationships, when that was not," Smith delicately explained to me, in fact, the case. In the July 2020 episode, Jada sat across from Will and calmly explained to viewers that Alsina had entered their lives while he was sick, and that it was nice to be able to assist him. She later revealed that she and Alsina became embroiled in an entanglement after she and Will were over. Will said, "We decided we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy." Will also claimed that he wasn't sure if they'd ever talk again during that difficult period of their marriage. They persevered, though, after a lot of therapizing, and Jada confronted both the ugly and beautiful facts about herself. Despite the fact that Will and Jada's romance sounds like something out of a romantic comedy, their meet-cute didn't have a standard happy ending. They first met in 1997 when Jada, now 48, auditioned for a job in the 90s sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as Smith's character's girlfriend. Unfortunately, the 5-foot actress was passed up for the position due to her height. Instead, Nia Long was cast in the role. Smith stated during a 2018 Red Table Talk interview that he was drawn to Pinkett Smith after seeing her on the college-themed TV series A Different World. Smith was married to Fletcher at the time, therefore he decided not to pursue his feelings for Pinkett Smith. On Red Table Talk, Smith later said that he knew Pinkett Smith was the one. While on a dinner date with Fletcher, he had an aha moment in a restaurant bathroom. Quote, "I had a realization I wasn't with the person I was supposed to be with," Smith said. "I was sitting in a stall and I was crying and laughing uncontrollably. And I knew Jada was the woman I was supposed to be with, but I was never getting divorced. I went back out, sat down with Sherry, and started going back on with my life." Smith didn't try to woo Jada until after he'd broken up with Fletcher. He inquired if she was seeing anyone, to which she replied, "No." In November 1997, Smith formally requested his wife's hand in marriage. The couple married in a secret ceremony at a hotel in Baltimore, Pinkett Smith's hometown. According to People, the couple did not send invitations because they didn't want any potential leaks to the media. This explains why there aren't too many images of their wedding on the internet, but Pinkett Smith shared the above Polaroid photo of the couple kissing on New Year's Eve immediately after saying their I do's on Twitter. But Will did not know at the time that this woman, who he just made his wife, was going to be the person who would hurt him the most. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, the Bad Boys actor spoke up about his relationship, saying that marriage was the hardest, tedious, terrible thing that we have ever taken on in our lives.
You expect your partner to know,
especially when it comes to sex.
Right.
It's like, well, if you love me, you should know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you love me,
you should be able to
you should read my mind.
Yeah.
So, Jada cheated on Will Smith because he couldn't read her mind? Whether we like it or not, stories sometimes repeat themselves, especially stories that we don't like. It seems that this is what happened to Will Smith because supposedly Jada, his wife, has cheated on him again. This time, with whom? What does Jada have to say about it? Stay so we can tell you all the details. Will Smith smacked Chris Rock at the Oscars over a joke about his wife Jada and her alopecia, bringing the Hollywood couple and their relationship back into the spotlight. But obviously, the Oscars incident is not the biggest problem for the couple to worry about. In July 2020, the couple appeared on Jada's Facebook chat show Red Table Talk to confront rumors that she was having an affair with singer-songwriter August Alsina. The couple, who have a son named Jaden and a daughter named Willow, explained that they needed to stay apart for a while at the time. We decided we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I will go figure out how to make myself happy, Men in Black star Will said. From there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August, Jada said, adding that she had a relationship with August during their separation. At that time, a lot of people had a lot of theories and tweeted about this. A lot. The real question is, was Will Smith more hurt or embarrassed? I'ma go with embarrassed. Only because his open marriage is exposed. Jada hella disrespectful, referring to her #entanglement August as pet name Og around her husband. Will countered with, an entanglement? A relationship. To which Jada explained, I was in a lot of pain and I was very broken. The two said they came to the Red Table to clear up media rumors about their connection after August Alsina's interview with radio program host Angela Lee and August Alsina, in which he said he gave years of his life to a relationship with Jada that had Will's blessing. Despite the circumstances, the two insist on having unconditional love and joked at the end of their conversation, we ride together, we die together. Bad marriage for life. Fans of Jada and Will, on the other hand, have been going to social media with a variety of reactions to the situation, with many remaining perplexed and others sympathizing with Will. In 1994, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith met on the set of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where Jada auditioned for the role of Will's girlfriend. Will was still married to his first wife, Sherry Zampino, and Jada didn't get the part, so the two went their separate ways. Will and Sherry later separated in 1994, then divorced the following year. Will and Jada began a romantic relationship then. Will allegedly called his future wife to inquire if she was seeing anyone, and when she stated no, Will allegedly said, "Cool, you're seeing me now." Well, you're quite smooth. Following the announcement that the pair were expecting their first child together, Will and Jada married on New Year's Eve in Baltimore in December 1997. Jaden Smith was born 10 months later, in July 1998. Willow, their second kid, was born 2 years after.
And the thing that Will and I talk about a lot is the journey. I mean, we started in this at a very young age, 22 years old. I think you expect your partner to know.
Jada Banfield-Jones usually presents Red Table Talk with her mother, Adrienne Banfield-Jones, and her daughter, Willow. Will and Jada debunked rumors that Jada was dating co-star and Jennifer Lopez's husband at the time, Mark Anthony, in August 2011, more than a decade later. Although we are reluctant to respond to these types of press reports, the rumors circulating about a relationship are completely false. We are still together, and our marriage is intact. Jada was once again compelled to reject rumors about her marriage 2 years later. This time, it was claims that she and Will were in an open relationship, which essentially implied that they were free to date other people. Open marriage? Let me first say this. There are far more important things to talk about in regards to what is happening in the world than whether I have an open marriage or not. I am addressing this issue because a very important subject has been born from discussions about my statement that may be worthy of addressing. The statement I made in regard to Will can do whatever he wants has illuminated the need to discuss the relationship between trust and love and how they coexist. On the production of Focus, which was released in 2015, rumors began to circulate that Will Smith had an affair with his co-star Margot Robbie. Both actors have refuted the rumors for a long time. However, in a recent interview on Red Table Talk, Will seemed to insinuate that he'd had an affair in the past, adding that they both, quote, made errors without fear of losing their families. Jada made an appearance on Howard Stern's American Talk Show in June 2015 to discuss her relationship with her husband. I'm not the kind of woman that believes that a man's not going to be attracted to other women. It's just not realistic. And just because your man is attracted to another woman doesn't mean he doesn't love you, and it doesn't mean he's going to act on it. Willow and Jaden were both scheduled to play at Wireless Festival in the United Kingdom a month later, so Jada came over to support them. August Alsina was introduced to her there for the first time. 1 month later, Jada and Will confirmed that they were not on the verge of breaking up. "I promise you all, if I ever decide to divorce my queen, I swear I'll tell you myself," Will wrote on Facebook to his fans. "My king has spoken," Jada said in a follow-up tweet. Now, after all these years, and after admitting that Jada was unfaithful to Will with August, Will talked about no infidelity in his marriage.
You both have talked very candidly. It's a very famous story, infidelity in the marriage and how you navigated that time.
There's never been infidelity in our marriage.
Never been infidelity in the marriage?
Never.
The SAG Award winner added, "I have decided that chatter about my life can be of benefit to people. I think that chatter is the first stage to having a real conversation and being able to truly explore if some of the things in your heart are loving or poisonous." Will told GQ last year while promoting his memoir that Jada, quote, "never believed in a conventional marriage." Jada had family members that had an unconventional relationship, so she grew up in a way that was very different than how I grew up, he said in November 2021. There were significant, endless discussions about what relational perfection is. What is the perfect way to interact as a couple? And for the large part of our relationship, monogamy was what we chose, not thinking of monogamy as the only relational perfection. We have given each other trust and freedom, with a belief that everybody has to find their own way, and marriage for us can't be a prison. He continued, "And I don't suggest our road for anybody. I don't suggest this road for anybody. But the experiences, that the freedoms that we've given one another, and the unconditional support to me is the highest definition of love." Following an altercation on Pinkett Smith's 40th birthday, Smith stated in an interview with GQ that while the relationship was initially monogamous, they finally opened up after recognizing they were both miserable and clearly something had to change. Pinkett Smith went under her husband's pressure despite not wanting traditional weddings, the actor writes in his upcoming book, adding, "This would be the first of many compromises Jada would make over the years that painfully negated her own values."
We never actually, officially separated. We agreed that she had to make herself happy, and I had to make myself happy. And then we were going to present ourselves back to the relationship.
So, after all this information, it seems that the story between Will and Jada Smith won't end here, and it'll only get more complicated. We have seen different versions of their marriage, from monogamy, an open relationship, fidelity, and infidelity.
He is a very even people person. And that's the first time I've ever seen him go off.
The woman you just saw saying that she'd never seen Will do anything like what he did at the Oscars is nothing more and nothing less than Will's mom. Many artists, people who have worked with him, and in this case, even family, have commented that Will has never been a violent person or one characterized by hitting or assaulting others. So we all wonder, what really happened? What were the real motives for Will to slap Chris Rock in front of millions? Was it the bad joke that Rock made, or could it be that Jada is behind all this? Stay to find out.
Everybody was checking to make sure he wasn't having a manic moment, because that's not what he's known for, smacking people and doing stuff.
As many have said, the slap that Will Smith gave Chris Rock simply left them stunned. Nobody expected it, least of all from an actor who's known for always being level-headed and opting for dialogue and not violence. Will Smith had a rough night at the Oscars, even though he won an award for his role in the movie King Richard. The night just didn't go the way everyone had planned. What really happened? The Oscars are known for the surprise aspect of their prizes, nominations, films, and red carpet. But there was more to this year's ceremony than lovely dresses and winners. Things appeared to have gotten hot, and Will Smith was the star of the action. It was undoubtedly something that neither the guests nor the onlookers could have predicted. Like Chris Rock, who was the presenter, remarked,
"Greatest night in the history of television."
One of the most impacting moments of the 94th Academy Awards was Will Smith slapping Chris Rock after the comedian made a joke about his wife. I'm sure that wasn't on anyone's Oscar bingo card. After the comedian made a joke about the actor's wife while presenting the Best Documentary trophy at the Oscars, Will Smith stormed on stage and smacked Chris Rock in the face in an apparently unscripted gesture that startled viewers and audience members alike. The smack that was televised around the world perplexed us all. Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife, actress Jada Pinkett Smith, who looked like she belonged in G.I. Jane 2 while on stage to give the Best Documentary prize. Pinkett Smith has confessed that she suffers from alopecia, a hair loss disorder, and his comment looked to be a swipe at her short hair. Jada Pinkett Smith immediately rolled her eyes at the joke. Last year, Pinkett Smith opened up about her alopecia in an Instagram video, detailing the progression of her hair loss. Smith, who appeared to be laughing at the time, was the focus of the camera. The joke, on the other hand, was received with cold applause, prompting Rock to claim, "That was a wonderful one." Clearly, this was an offensive joke, but it was nonetheless laughed at by the general public. Smith rose and walked over to Rock, slapping him on the cheek. Smith quickly returned to his seat and told Rock, using expletives, to not talk about his wife. The attendees' look suggested that they were taken back and confused about whether what they just witnessed was a spectacle or a real incident. After the incident, spectators and visitors were at a loss for what to do or say. The entire situation threw a cloud over the awards and the event. When Amy Schumer, one of the hosts, grabbed the microphone again later in the evening, she stated, "There's like a different vibe in here." Everyone assumed that Will Smith's motivation to slap Rock was the fury of witnessing that his wife was being part of a bad joke, and above all, of a subject that he knew was sensitive for her. And perhaps it was, but many fans began to speculate that Will was not alone in this, and that the one who'd made this happen was none other than Jada. Could it be that Jada was the one who told Will to slap him? Evidently, during Rock's joke, Jada was upset, and it can be seen when she rolled his eyes while Rock was on stage. We can all agree that Jada was very upset by the comedian's bad joke, and we can't blame her. Jada has been through a lot over the last few years with the issue of her alopecia. Jada Pinkett Smith was open about her alopecia issues long before Chris Rock dragged out her bald head at the 2022 Oscars. Pinkett Smith has been candid about her hair loss struggles since she revealed her diagnosis with the autoimmune disease alopecia on her Facebook watch show, Red Table Talk, in 2018. Turbans and hair covers, as well as cutting her hair short, have helped the actress acclimate to the shift. "When my hair is wrapped, I feel like a queen," she said. Pinkett Smith went on to add that she had every kind of test done to determine what was causing her hair loss, but the results were inconclusive. In an Instagram video from the same year, she stated that she was experimenting with small steroid injections to delay her hair loss, which she's since removed. "They seem to be helping, but not curing, but they seem to be helping, but I'm open to other ideas," she told her fans at the time. In July 2021, she revealed a new buzz cut inspired by her daughter. After a few months, she gave another update on her hair loss, pointing out a completely bald spot on the top of her head. The Matrix Resurrections actress also joked about putting rhinestones on her head and making herself a little crown, which she did in a big way at the 2022 Critics' Choice Awards, where she donned a $46,250 Jackie Aish headdress adorned with 53 diamonds. So, among all the drama, it seems like the real culprit in all of this wasn't really Will Smith, as he was just trying to make Jada feel better by listening to her advice to slap Rock. Surprisingly, Jada might have more control over Will than we were all aware of, but had Jada thought of the consequences her husband was going to face by making him do this? Probably not. Well, it seems that what's coming for Will is not promising. According to a letter, Academy President David Rubin and CEO Don Hudson are working on a decision about Smith's appropriate conduct, which could take a few weeks. According to the letter, the process will be conducted in a timely and courteous manner for all parties involved while adhering to the Academy's values. Will Smith's move on stage, according to Whoopi Goldberg, a member of the Academy's board of directors, will have huge implications. The Academy issued the following statement. The Board of Governors today initiated disciplinary proceedings against Mr. Smith for violations of the Academy's standards of conduct, including inappropriate physical contact, abusive or threatening behavior, and compromising the integrity of the Academy. After a stand-up show in Boston the day after the Oscars, Smith apologized to Rock, and the comedian stated that he's still processing what happened. Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. Will published in an Instagram post, "I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness," he finished. The Academy's board has the authority to suspend or expel members who violate the code of conduct or undermine the integrity of the institution. However, the actor chose to foreshadow this decision by making one that was a bit more contentious. Following his public apology, Smith resigned from the Academy, and many people were left wondering what this meant for the actor's future. What does this mean for Will, though? What exactly is the Academy, and why do individuals desire to join it? The board now boasts 10,000 members who represent 17 different elements of the film industry, including authors, actors, makeup artists, and public relations. Members of the Academy have several benefits, including the chance to vote for those nominated in their branch, as well as vote for Best Picture. They also get initial access to the nominated film's screenings. Even if the actor's prize was not taken away, or at least that's what is believed, the incident may have harmed Will's career very badly as an actor due to negative publicity, which may prompt production companies and committees for new projects and films to refuse to work with him. So could it be that Jada was simply willing to sacrifice her husband's career as long as the comedian who made a bad joke about her was punished? Fans have taken to social media to support Will and even comment on Jada's attitude. "This is a season for healing, and I'm here for it," Jada posted on her Instagram account. What does that mean? It seems that after everything that Will Smith has gone through to defend his wife from a joke in bad taste, Jada, who was initially affected, thinks that Will overreacted to the situation and does not appreciate the gesture. On the contrary, she's upset because Will created a violent incident that now haunts the entire family and their professional futures. Will Jada take action on the matter after what happened? Stay so you can find out the whole story. The Oscars are known for the surprise aspect of their prizes, nominations, films, and red carpet. But there was more to this year's ceremony than lovely dresses and winners. Things appeared to have gotten hot, and Will Smith was the star of the action. It was undoubtedly something that neither the guests nor onlookers could have predicted. "That was the greatest night in the history of television," Chris Rock, the host and actor, stated. Here are the specifics, including what made Will Smith so enraged that he slapped Chris Rock in the face. Will Smith hitting Chris Rock after the comedian made a joke about his wife was one of the most stunning moments of the 94th Academy Awards. That wasn't on anyone's Oscar bingo card, I'm sure. Will Smith came on stage and struck Chris Rock in the face in an apparently unscripted gesture that stunned viewers and audience members alike, after the comedian made a joke about the actor's wife while presenting the Best Documentary trophy at the Oscars. We were all perplexed by the smack that was televised across the world. While on stage to present the award, Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife, actress Jada Pinkett Smith, saying she looked like she belonged in G.I. Jane 2. Pinkett Smith has admitted that she has alopecia or hair loss, and his remark appeared to be a dig at her short hair.
Now, if she loses, he can't win! He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Smith rose from his seat and walked up to Rock, giving him a backward clap. Smith immediately returned to his seat and ordered that Rock refrain from discussing his wife, using expletives.
Oh, wow! Wow! Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
The transmission froze and fell silent in the United States. Smith's tearful acceptance speech later on for Best Actor, as well as Rock's reaction, in which he underlined Smith's recent strike with an expletive, proved that that brawl wasn't staged. During a mini monologue, the show's host, Chris Rock, was making jokes about artists and their spouses. The camera was focused on Smith, who appeared to be smiling at the time. The joke, on the other hand, was met with cold applause, prompting Rock to claim, "That was a nice one." Jada Pinkett Smith rolled her eyes at the joke right away. Pinkett Smith was candid about her alopecia last year, detailing the progression of her hair loss in an Instagram video. She first revealed her illness during an episode of her talk show in 2018, when she claimed that she opted to cut her hair short after a chunk of it fell out in the shower. Since being diagnosed with alopecia in 2018, Jada Pinkett Smith has publicly expressed her hair loss problems with confidence and candor. She posted a video on Instagram last month about a fresh patch of baldness caused by alopecia, a disease that causes significant hair loss.
Now at this point, I can only laugh. Now y'all know I've been struggling with alopecia, and just all of a sudden one day, look at this line right here. Look at that. Look at that. And so it just showed up like that. Now this is gonna be a little bit more difficult for me to hide.
In the video, which has nearly 2 million views, a seemingly happy Pinkett Smith recognizes the discovery.
So I thought I'd just share it so y'all not asking any questions. But you know, Mama's gonna put some rhinestones in there. I'm just gonna make me a little crown. That's what Mama's gonna do.
After the incident, spectators and viewers were at a loss of what to do or say. The entire situation threw a cloud over the event and awards. There was a great deal of giggling, but none of it was amusing. Smith received his first Academy Award for Best Actor for his part as the father of tennis legends Venus and Serena Williams in King Richard, just minutes after hitting rock. In a poignant, emotional acceptance speech, Smith apologized to the Academy and his fellow nominees, but not to Chris Rock. In his speech, Smith said, "Art imitates life," and added, "I look like the crazy father, just like they said about Richard Williams, but love will make you do crazy things."
I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. This is a beautiful moment.
After actor Will Smith punched comedian Chris Rock, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences issued a statement saying that violence was not accepted. The Academy does not condone violence of any form. Tonight we are delighted to celebrate our 94th Academy Award winners, who deserve this moment of recognition from their peers and movie lovers around the world.
Now I know to do what we do, you got to be able to take abuse. You got to be able to have people talk crazy about you. In this business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you. And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay.
Police allege comedian Chris Rock declined to make a complaint when Will Smith appeared to smack him during the live broadcast of the annual Academy Awards event. That means Smith will not be investigated or prosecuted by the Los Angeles Police Department, which has primary jurisdiction over the location where the show was taped on Sunday. The LAPD confirmed in a statement that investigative entities are aware of an incident involving two persons during the Academy Awards event. Following all the controversy, punches, drama, and tears, the actors and guests proceeded to comment on what had occurred, as they were all more than startled and outraged, and definitely justified. But what does Jada think? Will Smith's slap on Chris Rock at the 2022 Oscars did not make Jada Pinkett Smith mad, but she wishes he hadn't been violent with the comedian. It was in the heat of the moment, and it was him overreacting. He knows that, she knows that. They're in agreement that he overreacted. A source exclusively told Us Weekly about where the couple stands now. The A Different World alum didn't want Smith to get into a fight to defend her, according to the source. She's not one of these women who needs protecting. He didn't need to do what he did. She didn't need protecting. She's not a wallflower, the source shared. She's a strong woman, an opinionated woman, and she can fight her own battles, but she will stand by him. They protect their family. They're all about their family and their kids. They've done everything to build this life for themselves. They are very much protected in their own lives and do the absolute best they can to protect their loved ones, the source added. Evidently, Jada did not agree with what happened, and especially with the violence that it generated on stage. In addition, this has brought a lot of bad fame to the family that could have very negative impacts in their careers. Smith has now apologized for the unacceptable and reprehensible conduct that occurred during the awards show. Jada and Will Smith's relationship has had many shades, from parenting without punishment or scolding to an open relationship where Jada has been accused of being unfaithful. But is violence also part of the Smiths' relationship? Until now, nothing has been said about it, perhaps because they wanted to hide it or because it could have sunk the Smith name, and especially the careers of all the members of this family. But with the latest incident of Will Smith at the Oscar Awards, it seems that this situation cannot be hidden anymore. What did Jada confess about Will? Has he always been a violent man? Stay tuned for all the details.
Oh, wow! Wow! Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my white fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
Will met Jada on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but at the time, he was married to Sherry Zampino. Will contacted Jada and inquired if she was seeing anyone after he and Sherry broke up. Cool, he remarked after she said no. You are seeing me now. Everything else is history. Although Jada didn't like the notion of making their relationship official on paper, she and Will married while she was pregnant with their son, Jaden. In a People cover story from 2019, she said, "I never wanted to get married, but my mother was like, you have to get married. She's so old school and Will wanted a family. So I said, all right, maybe it's something I should do." In August of 2011, the couple said to People in response to accusations that Jada was seeing Mark Anthony. Although we are reluctant to respond to these types of press reports, the rumors circulating about our relationship are completely false. We are still together and our marriage is intact. Meanwhile, Jada's rep said, all the rumors regarding Mark Anthony and Jada are false, completely untrue. As for the reports of a split between Will and Jada, I'm not commenting on their personal life. Jada went on Facebook 2 years later on the fated day to clarify comments that had everyone thinking she and Will were in an open marriage. Basically, she said Will could do whatever he wants. Here is how I will change my statement. Will and I both can do whatever we want because we trust each other to do so. This does not mean we have an open relationship. This means we have a grown one. In 2015, Jada gave an interview with Howard Stern, saying, I'm not the kind of woman who believes that a man's not going to be attracted to other women. It's just not realistic. And just because your man is attracted to another woman, it doesn't mean he doesn't love you, and it doesn't mean he's going to act on it. Will took to Facebook 2 months later to deny that they were getting divorced. Under normal circumstances, I don't usually respond to foolishness because it's contagious, but so many people have extended to me their deepest condolences that I figured, what the hell, I can be foolish too. So in the interest of redundant, repetitious, over and over againness, Jada and I are not getting a divorce. I promise you all, if I ever decide to divorce my queen, I swear I'll tell you myself. Hashtag dumb people should have to wear scarlet Ds. But things got messy and weird when Jada and August attended the 2017 BET Awards together. Could it be that Jada was trying to run away or get away from her current husband? Will Smith has been the most famous character in recent weeks, all due to a violent incident that happened at the Oscars. Will Smith hitting Chris Rock after the comedian made a joke about his wife was one of the most stunning moments of the 94th Academy Awards. That wasn't on anyone's Oscar bingo card, I'm sure. Will Smith came on stage and struck Chris Rock across the face in an apparently unscripted gesture that stunned viewers and audience members alike, after the comedian made a joke about the actor's wife while presenting the Best Documentary trophy at the Oscars. We were all perplexed by the smack that was televised around the world. While presenting the Best Documentary award, Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife, actress Jada Pinkett Smith, saying she looked like she belonged in G.I. Jane 2. Pinkett Smith has admitted that she has alopecia or hair loss, and his remark appeared to be a dig at her short hair.
He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay.
Smith rose from his seat and walked up to Rock, giving him a backward slap. Smith immediately returned to his seat and ordered that Rock refrain from discussing his wife using expletives. The transmission froze and fell silent in the US. Smith's tearful acceptance speech minutes later for Best Actor, as well as Rock's reaction, in which he underlined Smith's recent strike with an expletive, proved that the brawl wasn't staged. During a mini monologue, the show's host, Chris Rock, was making jokes about artists and their spouses.
Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Smith, who appeared to be smiling initially, was the focus of the camera. The joke, on the other hand, received only lukewarm applause, prompting Rock to say, that was a nice one. Jada Pinkett Smith immediately rolled her eyes at the joke. Last year, Pinkett Smith was open about her alopecia, revealing how her hair loss progressed in an Instagram video. She first revealed her disease during an episode of her talk show in 2018, when she explained that after a portion of her hair fell out in the shower, she decided to cut it short. Since being diagnosed with alopecia in 2018, Jada Pinkett Smith has publicly expressed her hair loss problems with confidence and candor. Spectators and guests were at a loss on what to do or say after the occurrence. The whole scenario cast a pall over the awards. There was a lot of giggling going on, but none of it was humorous. Just minutes after slapping Rock, Smith won his first Academy Award for Best Actor for his role as the father of tennis legends Venus and Serena Williams in King Richard. Smith apologized to the Academy and his fellow nominees in a heartfelt, emotional acceptance speech, but not to Chris Rock. It was also one little quarrel that got the Fresh Prince in trouble almost 4 decades ago, forcing the fictional Will to move in with his auntie and uncle in Bel Air. The teen's career as a comedian and actor was begun by a manufactured altercation on a basketball court, but now it's a real-life altercation that threatens to wreck the life of an indisputable Hollywood celebrity. The insensitive joke, Smith's violent retaliation, and the fact that the award event went on without incident triggered a raging debate over what it meant to defend women, as well as American culture's seeming tolerance of violence. Some made light of the situation. Smith was channeling his hothead bad boys character Mike Lowry and taking method acting seriously. Others, on the other hand, were alarmed by the altercation. Director Judd Apatow said Smith could have killed Chris Rock in a since-deleted tweet, adding that Smith had lost his mind. There were even calls for the actor's arrest and assault charges to be filed. The fact that Will Smith wasn't kicked out of the Oscars and arrested for assaulting Chris Rock shows how Hollywood allows, enables, and celebrates the very worst behaviors. Workplace violence isn't tolerated in normal industries. Reverend Dr. Jackie Lewis, a psychologist and preacher who has read Smith's book but has not treated him directly, said she wishes Smith could find another way to protect his family. The fight between Smith and Rock shattered the facade of purity that frequently surrounds celebrities, but Lewis believes it should be used as an opportunity to reflect on how normalized violence has become in our society. Subjecting women to cruel jokes at their expense in front of God and everyone and physical assault are two sides of the same coin, and that coin is toxic masculinity. Here ends the sermon, beloveds. But this incident was in front of millions of people who were watching the Academy Awards. Is Will like this? More violent when no one's around? Will Smith's troubled marriage to Jada Pinkett Smith caused him problems at the Academy Awards, according to reports. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have been married for a longer period than the majority of Hollywood couples. Despite having to deal with speculations during their decades together, the couple seems to have worked out the best way to keep the spark alive. Or maybe that's just what they want us to believe, because recent revelations have proven unsettling for fans. Finally, have they made us realize that they're not in the perfect marriage and that all of their troubles and rumors throughout the years have had a significant impact on Will? Is this true? Well, stay to find out. Will Smith's marriage is starting to take a toll on him, but how do we know? In his new memoir, Will discusses his marriage and his life before marriage. He admitted that he and Jada had their ups and downs, and he shared details about some of his former relationships. Two of the old relationships referenced in the Aladdin Stars book are Stockard Channing and Melanie Parker. He also talked about his wife, Jada, and her ties, particularly with Tupac Shakur, a close friend. In his memoir, Will said he was envious of Jada's friendship with a California rapper. Tupac and Jada met in the mid-1980s and had a close bond before he went to prison in 1995. They had a falling out, and he was slain in a drive-by shooting in 1996 before they could reconcile. Though they were never intimate, their love for each other is legendary. They defined ride or die. Will described their ride or die friendship in the book. He went on to say that their relationship tortured his mind. At the beginning of our relationship, my mind was tortured by their connection. He was Pac and I was me. I have triggered the perception of myself as a coward. I hated that I wasn't what he was in the world, and I suffered a raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like that, he explained. These are the types of things that leave an incredible impression on a person's life, and it was only the beginning. Will also made a few additional remarks during his conversation with Oprah, all of which were linked to his memoir. During their private talk, she told him, "I realized you basically lost everything. The government seized your cars, it took your home, you ended up in jail. You describe it in 2 words, actually. Rock bottom. What was at the root of that downfall, Will?" In addition to previous romances, the iRobot actor spoke extensively about his marriage, its difficulties, and the lengths to which he tried to maintain it. Will Smith has a show where he shows how he sheds pounds. In a voiceover, Will stated, "This began as a journey to get into the best shape of my life. When I started this show, I thought I was getting into the best shape of my life physically, but mentally, I was somewhere else. I ended up discovering a whole lot of hidden things about myself." Throughout the video, the book was mentioned several times. Willow Smith, Jaden Smith, and Trey Smith were among the members of the actor and musician's family that gathered for a reading of a passage of the book. Will told his family and friends, "That was the only time in my life that I ever considered suicide." In the video, Willow is visibly moved, while her brothers and the others at the table remain deafeningly silent. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Is it possible that Jada was the one who started it all? As one of Hollywood's most known power couples, the Smiths have won numerous accolades, raised 3 children, and even leapt out of a plane together. Smith and his wife were married in 1997 and have been together ever since. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have finally spoken out about the long-running romance rumors. Pinkett Smith returns to hosting duties for the 2-part Season 2 premiere of Red Table Talk on Facebook Watch, this time putting her husband on the spot. Despite their celebrity, the couple has never shied away from discussing the ups and downs of their relationship, and their more than 20-year marriage is a testament to how they've survived every storm, even a separation. Will also talked about his relationship with GQ in a recent interview. He elaborated on a point Jada made in her show Red Table Talk, she doesn't always agree with traditional marriage norms. Jada never believed in conventional marriage. Jada had family members that had an unconventional relationship, he told the publication. So she grew up in a way that was very different than how I grew up. There were significant, endless discussions about what is relational perfection, what is the perfect way to interact as a couple. And for the large part of our relationship, monogamy was what we chose, not thinking of monogamy as the only relational perfection. His comments came more than a year after the couple's appearance on Red Table Talk, which was one of the show's most watched episodes in July 2020. On her Facebook Watch show, Jada brought herself to the table to address rumors that she had an affair with R&B musician August Alsina 5 years ago. Jada sat next to Will in the July 2020 show and calmly told viewers that Alsina had entered their lives while he was sick, and it was good to be able to help him. She later revealed that when she and Will were over, she and Alsina got into an entanglement. Will said, "We decided we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy." During that rough era of their marriage, Will also claimed that he wasn't sure whether they'd ever converse again. After a lot of therapizing and Jada confronting both the ugly and beautiful aspects of herself, they persevered. Even though the Smiths' romance sounds like it could have come straight out of romantic film, their meet-cute didn't end happily. However, after all the ups and downs they've had in their marriage, the health of their relationship has been questioned after what happened at the Oscars. It's never been criticized in this way, which may have severe repercussions on Will Smith's career. As the dust settles on what will undoubtedly go down in history as one of the most dramatic Academy Awards ceremonies ever, celebrities and public figures from all across Hollywood are weighing in on the night's most stunning event. In case you missed it, a heated brawl between Will Smith and Chris Rock, prompted by a joke about Will's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, overshadowed the rest of the show. "I love you, Jada. I can't wait to see G.I. Jane 2, Chris said, referring to Jada's bald head. For some background, Jada was diagnosed with alopecia in 2018 and has spoken out about how her hair loss has affected her mental health and overall confidence on multiple occasions. As a result of this joke, Will, who sat opposite Jada in the front row of the crowd, got up from his seat and proceeded toward the stage before hitting Chris across the face seconds after Chris's joke. Chris looked completely taken aback by the incident, but kept his composure in front of the cameras, responding, "Oh wow, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me." Will returned to his seat and yelled at the comic, who stayed on stage as the audience awkwardly laughed. Many others assumed the slap was part of a pre-planned comedy routine. Will snapped at Chris, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth," instantly putting an end to the notion that the brawl was staged. The incident, of course, dominated much of the night and provoked a flurry of debate regarding Will's actions. It wasn't long before a slew of celebrities chimed in on the discussion. However, one celebrity with some experience with the unpredictability of live television is Jimmy Kimmel, who notably hosted the Oscars in 2017 when the night ended in total turmoil after the erroneous Best Picture winner was announced by mistake. Bill, the host, began calling the slap the craziest celebrity altercation ever, prompting Jimmy to express his surprise at Will's behavior. Jimmy, like many others, originally mistook the confrontation for a rehearsed performance, claiming that he and his wife were stunned by how real the slap appeared on television. Jimmy alluded to the notion that Will's legacy may have been irrevocably ruined, forsaking the good guy image he skillfully created over the course of his long and successful career, elsewhere in his conversation with Bill. So really, fans and even Hollywood personalities think that Will Smith's career will be seriously affected after the Oscars incident, and it's really all caused by Jada. So do you think Will has reason enough to say that Jada has ruined not only his wife, his marriage, and now his career? We are really concerned about the situation between Will Smith and Chris Rock, especially because it's put the actor's career at risk. And even though the actor publicly apologized and has taken action to try to remedy the fatal action at the awards ceremony, it seems that has not been enough, and he's likely to lose his Oscar for slapping Chris Rock. What's been happening lately? What will the consequences be for Will Smith? Stay to know all the details.
Oh, wow! Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Get my name out your fucking mouth!
Wow, dude!
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay?
The Oscars are known for the surprise aspect of their prizes, nominations, films, and red carpet. But there was more to this year's ceremony than lovely dresses and winners. Things appeared to have gotten hot, and Will Smith was the star of the action. It was undoubtedly something that neither the guests nor the audience could have predicted. Chris Rock, who was both a host and an actor, stated that was the greatest night in the history of television. Here we tell you the details and what it was that made Will Smith so furious as to slap Chris Rock across the face. One of the most stunning moments of the 94th Academy Awards was Will Smith slapping Rock after the comedian made a joke about his wife. I'm sure that wasn't on anyone's Oscar bingo card. After the comedian made a joke about the actor's wife while presenting the Best Documentary trophy at the Oscars, Will Smith stormed on stage and smacked Chris Rock in the face in an apparently unscripted gesture that startled viewers and audience members alike. The smack that was televised around the world perplexed us all. While on stage to present the Best Documentary Award, Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife, actress Jada Pinkett Smith, saying she looked like she belonged in G.I. Jane 2. Pinkett Smith has admitted that she has alopecia or hair loss, and his remark appeared to be a dig at her short hair. Smith got up from his seat and walked over to Rock, slapping him across the face. Smith then returned to his seat and demanded that Rock not talk about his wife, using expletives. In the US, the transmission froze and went silent. Smith's tearful acceptance speech for Best Actor, as well as Rock's reaction, in which he highlighted with an expletive that Smith had just struck him, made it clear that the brawl wasn't a ruse. Rock, the show's host, had been cracking jokes about performers and their spouses during a mini monologue. Smith, who appeared to be smiling at the time, was the focus of the camera. The joke, on the other hand, received only lukewarm applause, prompting Rock to say, "That was a nice one." Jada Pinkett Smith rolled her eyes at the joke right away. Pinkett Smith has been candid about her alopecia since last year, detailing the progression of her hair loss in an Instagram video. She first revealed her illness during an episode of her talk show in 2018, when she claimed that she opted to cut her hair short after a chunk of it fell out in the shower. Since being diagnosed with alopecia in 2018, Jada Pinkett Smith has publicly expressed her hair loss problems with confidence and candor. She posted a video on her Instagram last month about a fresh patch of baldness caused by alopecia, a disease that causes significant hair loss. In the video, which has nearly 2 million views, a happy Pinkett Smith recognizes the discovery.
This is going to be a little bit more difficult for me to hide. So I thought I'd just share it so y'all not asking any questions. But you know, Mama's going to put some rhinestones in there. And it's going to make me a little crown. That's what Mama's going to do.
Spectators and guests were at a loss on what to do or say after the occurrence. The whole scenario cast a pall over the awards and over the occasion. There was a lot of giggling going on, but none of it was humorous. Just minutes after slapping Rock, Smith won his first Academy Award for Best Actor for his role as the father of tennis legends Venus and Serena Williams in King Richard. Smith apologized to the Academy and his fellow nominees in a heartfelt, emotional acceptance speech, but not to Chris Rock.
I am overwhelmed by what God is calling on me to do and be in this world.
After actor Will Smith punched comedian Chris Rock, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences issued a statement saying that violence was not acceptable. The Academy does not condone violence of any form. Tonight we are delighted to celebrate our 94th Academy Award winners who deserve this moment of recognition from their peers and movie lovers around the world. When Will Smith seemed to smack him during the live broadcast of the annual Academy Awards event, police said comedian Chris Rock refused to file a report. That means the Los Angeles Police Department, which has primary jurisdiction over the venue where the show was taped on Sunday, will not investigate or punish Smith. Investigative entities are aware of an incident involving 2 persons during the Academy Awards ceremony, the LAPD revealed in a statement. But what consequences will Will face? And is it true that they could take away his Oscar? What does Will think? The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the managing body of the Oscars, announced that it suspended Will Smith from participating in any event, face-to-face or virtual, for 10 years, a decision that the actor accepted. The 94th Academy Awards were, quote, overshadowed by the unacceptable and harmful behavior we saw Mr. Smith exhibit on stage, according to a statement from the Academy. Smith has apologized for his behavior and resigned from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. The Academy said in a statement that the restriction was aimed at protecting performers and visitors while also restoring trust in the Academy. The Academy claimed it did not adequately address the issue in the room immediately after the slap and was unprepared for the unprecedented. It expressed regret for this. It also praised Rock for retaining his coolness in the face of adversity. Smith said in his resignation statement that he had betrayed the Academy's trust and was heartbroken over his actions. He went on to say that he would fully accept any consequences for his actions. As a result of Smith's resignation, he will be unable to vote in future Oscars. After he resigned, the Academy's disciplinary examination of the incident, which had been planned for the 18th of April, was accelerated. But what about his Oscar? Industry insiders warned the Washington Post that Will Smith may be asked to return his Best Actor award after his live onstage assault on Rock. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Code of Conduct, which was announced Sunday at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, features rigorous standards. So it only remains to wait for the Academy to comment more on the matter and see if they really will take away Will's Oscar. And here's some additional information to put Will Smith's situation in perspective. Who else has been expelled from the Academy? Carmine Caridi, The Godfather Part 2 star, was the first person expelled from the Academy. In 2004, he was expelled for producing VCR copies of preview screenings and sharing them. Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein was ousted in 2017, just a month after the explosive New York Times report that brought to light sexual harassment allegations against him. Bill Cosby, The Cosby Show actor, known at one point as America's Dad for his paternal role on the series, was expelled in 2018, a month after being found guilty of sexual assault. He had been on trial for drugging and assaulting former basketball player Andrea Constand in 2004. Director Roman Polanski was ousted at the same time as Cosby, even though he pleaded guilty to having illegal sex with a minor in 1977 in the United States and fled to France. Cinematographer Adam Kimmel, who worked on movies like Pote and Lars and The Real Girl, was ousted in 2021 after reports surfaced of his history as a registered sex offender. We know that Will Smith's reaction was not the best, and he could have handled the situation in a more adult way. But do you think that the sentence that the Academy is imposing on him is fair? What about Chris Rock? No one's asked for a public apology from the comedian for humiliating Jada in front of millions of people. Of course, we want to know your opinion, so leave us your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any juicy news from your favorite celebrities.